Well, it's Australian Open time. Finally, we are just hours, as I make this video, just hours away from the start of the 2018 Australian Open, the Happy Slam, first major of the year. Let's look at the schedule for day 2. Oh, and real quick, speaking of schedules, Coffee Break Tennis is going to have its own schedule for this major, the Aussie Open. I'm going to be going to bed. Take a look at the picture, because this is the last time me and Mr. Goat are going to wake up with the sun shining on us, because I'm going to be waking up in the wee hours of the morning to catch the headline matches and prepare a video for you that I will be trying to get out at 11 a.m. East Coast time. That's 9 p.m. in Indian Standard Time for my fans over in India. 4 p.m. for those of you watching us from the UK, and we're sticking it right back to Australia. They have us up till 3 a.m. watching the headline matches. I got them up till 3 a.m. because that's when Coffee Break Tennis is going to hit over in the land of Australia. Coffee Break Tennis is brought to you by Crunch Time Coaching, a tennis player's best friend, a tennis player's ultimate resource. Hey, if you play tennis and you want to work on your tennis game, this is the channel for you. This video you're watching right now is on Crunch Time Coaching channel. So click subscribe down below. Give us a thumbs up because that helps me here at Coffee Break Tennis, and I love it. And don't forget, I have my own new channel, Coffee Break Tennis YouTube channel, and I've got a video just for you guys over there all about this newfangled computer they put together over in Australia. A team of data analysts, scientists, right? They put together this computer model that can run these simulations, which they ran 5,000 times just to make sure they got it right, to predict who wins the Australian Open. And guess what? They picked someone. And I think a lot of you might like who they picked. Should we believe it? Should we believe this fancy computer? You know what happened in the Terminator? So hey, at the end of this video, I'll show you guys how to go over to my channel and watch that video so we can talk about whether or not we should believe this computer, and I'll tell you who the computer thinks is definitely going to win the Australian Open in 2018. So let's get to day 2 at the Australian Open. The schedule is out. Put it up on the screen. You guys can peruse through it. I actually have 5 matches I picked for Tuesday because Tuesday is loaded. Day 2 of the Aussie Open. Well, all right, Alex de Minaur, the Demon. I fancy him quite a bit, mate. Let me tell you a little bit about the Demon, Alex de Minaur, if you guys haven't seen him play yet. He's really, really fast. He's small. He looks very young. Very, very, very young. He looks like, is he in the junior draw or the men's draw? He's really fast. He weighs about 150 pounds, so that helps you run faster. He's 5'11", 5'10", somewhere around there. He's a little shorter than our typical tennis champion. And he's fearless. He's fearless. If you haven't seen him, just look up the highlights from, I believe it was the Sydney International Tournament where he beats Feliciano Lopez. Watch some of that match, and you'll get a load of what he's all about. I think that match was 6-4, 6-4 straight sets win. And he's really fast. He's really fearless with his shot making. He hasn't been, bandied about as one of these ATP next-gen superstar sensations of the future. But the Demon, I think this guy could be one of our top players in the future of tennis. So watch that match. Going to be very interesting. Let's move on to the number 4 match. So one of the last matches of Tuesday. This match will be probably the last match on court. It's the Battle of the O's. It's Delpo versus Tiafoe. And if you guys remember the US Open first round for Roger, that was a tricky one with Frances Tiafoe. So now Delpo has to deal with him. So that's a match to watch because we want to see where Delpo is. How's he looking in a best of 5 set match? And of course, Tiafoe, very capable. Remember he beat in Cincinnati, had the big upset over Alexander Zverev. So, and of course, he took Roger 5. That was pretty big time. So we'll see how Delpo handles with the young Tiafoe first rounder. See how he likes that after we saw Roger deal with it last year. Number 3 match to watch, and that is a couple of young guns battling again, and that's Medvedev versus Thanasi Kokkinakis. Medvedev, he just beat the Demon in a final at, I think it was the Sydney International Tournament, just finished very recently, a couple days ago. And obviously, that's an impressive win because that guy was knocking everyone off and shocking the world, the young man de Minaur. And Medvedev is one of these ATP next-gen sensations. So I think that's a match to watch because I really like Thanasi Kokkinakis. Of course, he's an Australian, so he's going to have the home crowd behind him. And I think if he can get through Medvedev, which I think is a winnable match for him if he plays well. We saw him at Hopman Cup. You know, he beat Alexander Zverev. That was pretty impressive. And I think he can come through it, and I think he can get a little momentum going and possibly play Alexander Zverev again. Wouldn't that be awesome? So the number 2 match, I got a little tennis.com article here for you guys. Novak Djokovic versus D.Y. Donald Young from Atlanta. That's where we are right now doing Coffee Break Tennis. And that's, of course, a match to watch because everyone's curious, how is Djokovic going to look in a best-of-5 sets match? In a real match. All he's played is exhibitions since Wimbledon. We haven't seen him do anything besides a couple exhibitions last week. Novak Djokovic to unveil new serving motion at the Australian Open. So you've already seen the new serving motion if you watch the tiebreak 10s or if you watch the Kooyong exhibition against Dominic Thiem, Djokovic-Dominic Thiem, which Djokovic won fairly easily. He's abbreviated. The motion, basically, he just comes straight here. He's just ball toss, racket's right there with him. Go get the ball. He used to take it down lower. And I said at the time, and a lot of people are saying this, I was the first to say it though, I said, you know, there's no speed gun in Kooyong, so I'm not sure. I couldn't see the speed of his serve, but to me, it looked like there's a little less power on the Djokovic serve. I think that's a thing that could be a problem if Djokovic makes a run and comes up against a top player like Roger. Somewhere in the draw, it could be a problem. Even if it's less power, maybe it'll turn into less consistency. Maybe, you know, yeah, right now it's working. It worked well in the exhibition against Thiem. No problem getting the serve in for Joker. But if he's down break point in the 5th set of the Australian Open, maybe then, maybe then the new serving motion produces a double fault. But Djokovic put a positive spin on it. What did he say here? So far, it's been working really well. Only had the Kooyong match where I could really try it. Lots of practice sets. Happy with the new motion. He said there's some corrections, I guess some improvements to the technique, which I think are allowing me to be more efficient with the serve. But also allowing me to release the load from the elbow, which is, you know, obviously, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. Right now, I'm at a level where I can compete. Every day is getting better. So, do you guys buy it? Comment below. I'm really curious. Do you believe Novak Djokovic when he says that this new serve motion is a good thing? What I remember is when Sharapova had a shoulder issue and she had to take a break, she came back with a very similar abbreviated takeback on her serve, and no one thought it helped her serve. She definitely lost a little power, and she struggled for a little bit with it. All right, let's go on to number 1, which is, of course, number 1 match to watch on Tuesday is the first night match. Just like Rafa on day 1 has the first night match on Rod Laver Arena, Roger versus Aljaz Badin has the first night match on day 2 on Rod Laver Arena. Of course, everyone is excited around the world to see Roger back at the Australian Open, so that's the match to watch for. I didn't have to tell you guys that. By the way, if I didn't mention earlier, I think I did though, schedule here at Coffee Break Tennis, look for our videos, 11 a.m. East Coast time. I'm going to wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, watch Roger on Tuesday, watch Rafa tonight, tomorrow morning, tonight, whatever you want to call it. And 11 a.m. you'll see a video, 9 p.m. in India, 4 p.m. in the UK, sticking it back to Australia. 3 a.m. is when you get to see the video over there, just like we have to watch the headline matches at 3 a.m. That's it for me. Let's head over to Coffee Break Tennis channel right now, where I have a very awesome article for you guys where a computer, a team of scientists and analytics data specialists over in Australia have put together a computer simulated model where they could predict who will win the Australian Open. And I think you guys might like who they predicted. So let's head over to Coffee Break Tennis, my channel, the brand new channel. Click here. I got a link if you don't have that, if you're not in the YouTube app, you're on a computer or something else. In the description below this video, might have to hit a little down arrow to open the box. You'll see the description. You'll see the link to take you to my new video over at Coffee Break Tennis YouTube channel, where we're going to talk about what does this computer genius machine say, who does it say, rather, is going to win the Australian Open.